Yo, what is going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a fantastic day. So I want to go over the Philadelphia Eagles versus the Arizona Cardinals, the game in general. I'm going to be flip-flopping back and forth, going to rant about some things that are pretty important going into the next Sunday against the Dallas Cowboys, big divisional game next week. But this game was a winner, an ugly win, but let's get into it.
Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
What is going on, guys? Your boy Joey SHAKESQUAD coming to you guys with a video right now. I want to talk about this game. The Eagles win 20-17. We're undefeated, thank God. Okay, this was an ugly game, probably the ugliest game from the Philadelphia Eagles. No joke. Okay, I sat there, watched this, and I said, okay, this team is going to play very tough. And the Cardinals, I think, are a good team. I think they're a good team. Kyler Murray brings another dimension to that offense. You know, I don't like RPO read option QBs because we have one, and I know how it feels where, you know, you have to defend that, and it's not easy, okay? The first quarter of the game, I mean, Jalen Hurts scoring 2 rushing touchdowns. The game was up 14-0. We were looking really good. We were running with Miles Sanders. We were doing all these great things. We had the mismatch with A.J. Brown against Marcos, the cornerback for the Cardinals. I mean, there was good mismatches there. But the Eagles kind of strayed away in the second quarter. They were making mistakes. They were throwing way too many screen passes. I don't know what the Eagles were doing offensively, but why were they afraid to throw mid-tier passes? Were they afraid to throw slants? I mean, I don't know what they were doing. Screen after screen after screen. Devontae Smith, A.J. Brown had 32 yards today, and he disappeared in the second half, totally disappeared. Devontae Smith, 10 targets, and what did he get out of it? Broke a couple tackles near the end of the game on some screen passes, but why are you throwing a long screen pass to Devontae Smith all the way to the sideline? Jalen Hurts has to turn to his side, throw the football, and by the time he turns totally to throw the ball, the Cardinals are already in pursuit of that play, so I don't understand. There was no blockers in front of him. I mean, nothing. The Cardinals ran some screen passes, and usually the wide receivers already had 4 yards before they even hit contact. So I don't get what these screens were supposed to do. I mean, look, they worked with Dallas Goedert for a little. Dallas Goedert had a monster game. What did I tell you guys? He had a really, really good game. Caught a few really good passes and really saved the day today. I thought he definitely contributed a lot because when nothing else was really working, Dallas Goedert, every pass thrown at him was a catch, I think, because I don't think he missed one. But it's really not the players offensively. I don't know. Miles Sanders has 15 yards in the first half. I mean, that's it. I don't get it. He had 15 yards, something like that, at the end of the first half, like on 7 attempts. Like, they just stopped. After the first quarter, they stopped running with Miles Sanders. There was no Kenneth Gainwell. There was no Boston Scott. There was no Trey Sermon. No idea. I mean, the bread and butter of this offense is you have to balance it out. They were a little pass happy, obviously, but you got to run the football. I mean, you have to run the football. Okay, you had C.J. Gardner-Johnson that had a pick. Hassan Reddick did pretty good today. He had his first sack, which I was really pissed off about because wait till I get to this freaking defense. Okay, wait till I get to this defense, all right? This is the absolute example of why you need to keep your foot on the gas and stop doing this with not just Hassan Reddick, but a lot of players. Hassan Reddick started in this matchup, okay, as an outside linebacker covering hooks and curls, okay? No joke. That's what he was doing. That's what he was doing the whole time. Barely played defensive end, but not for long. On top of that, the Eagles played prevent in the third quarter, are coming out of the second half. We just fell on our faces offensively and defensively. They started to play prevent, the same old crap. No blitzes. They did a couple stunts in the first half, maybe 1 or 2, barely even that, but they strayed away from a lot of things, guys. A lot of things. Of course you're going to get beat if you play prevent in the second half. I mean, you're going to get beat that way. Gannon has these corners 8 to 10 yards off the line, and you're still not blitzing. The middle of the field is wide open. We couldn't tackle for shit. We couldn't tackle whatsoever. So Missed Hollywood Brown on that touchdown, 2 missed tackles. I mean, they hit Josh Sweat would have had a sack on Kyler Murray and couldn't wrap him. It's just the tackling is really, really bad. And I think since the first game of the season, we've just had some of these tackles where it could have been a 2 to 3 yard loss turning to a 4 to 5 yard gain. I can't stand when these guys can't wrap around. It really pisses me off. Okay, on top of the prevent, I can't blame the players that if they're far back and you don't want to give up the big play, but they're taking huge chunk yards. Like, I don't get it. You're lucky that D-Hop wasn't even playing in this game the other day. If D-Hop was playing, it would have been a lot harder. But Kyler Murray didn't have to do much. Slant after run after slant. I mean, they were down. James Conner ended up getting hurt. They were down to their third running back, and then their second running back came back in. James Conner was out for a rib injury because he got hit with a helmet right to the ribs. It was that bad. I was actually really disgusted on both sides it's really the game plan and the play calling on both sides was absolutely, like I said, guys, what did I tell you guys beginning of the season? The coaching staff only takes us so far. And I think the only way the Eagles fail this season, that they don't go to no playoffs, no division title, no nothing, the coaching staff is the main recipe for disaster if they don't do the right thing by their players. The only good thing I take out of this win is that literally we've won in every case scenario. We've dominated. We've been down a couple touchdowns. We've stayed in this lead in this game. We stayed in the lead. End of the game, okay, they managed to waste over 7-8 minutes in the fourth quarter with that offense. They were running with Miles Sanders. They were doing a good job. It wasn't enough. They didn't run with Miles Sanders enough, like I said earlier, okay? Then they started using Kenneth Gainwell. They just started using both of them a little bit more. I don't even remember if I saw Boston Scott that much. Probably not. Okay, they started using Miles Sanders in the passing game a little bit. I think he had 1 or 2 catches. I'm not sure. But they wasted 7-8 minutes. The passing was good. Goddard had a good catch. Devontae Smith they threw a couple screens to Devontae Smith at the end of the fourth, and they actually got first downs. But the drive killers where the Eagles could have been ahead so much more. 2 drive killers, okay? 2 of them. I think one was in the second and the third quarter. Okay, penalties. As soon as they're on, the 5-10 yard line, they get a penalty, they have to move back. And that was it. Then the Cardinals blitzed on Jalen Hurts those 2 times on those 2 drives on 3rd and long, okay, and they sacked him 2 times. Drive over, not in field goal range, really pissed me off. Okay, so it was an ugly win, guys. So really, at the end of this game, the Cardinals are going down. The Eagles have to kick a field goal. By the way, Cameron Dicker played fantastic. The new kicker played really good today. I had no problem with him whatsoever. He was didn't seem nervous. I mean, he probably was nervous in the beginning, but his kicks were perfect. There was nothing off. There was nothing close to hitting the field goal post or nothing. He was absolutely perfect today. So really glad. Every time he kicked, I had to hold my breath for that reason. Then we have to play prevent for the last minute and 40 seconds. Okay, we got lucky at the end of this game because they were driving the ball down a little bit. Eagles were playing some good defense, keeping everything inside, keeping the clock running. Once Kyler Murray got to our side of the field, okay, he ran for a first down, which was supposed to be a first down with like 15, 13 seconds, whatever it was. Okay, it was 3rd down. He runs. He gives himself up. He slides. He doesn't give himself up after the first down marker. So they had to kick a field goal. So that was a mistake on Kyler Murray sliding before the first down marker, because if he slid past that, we probably would have been in overtime, and God knows how this game would have ended, especially with these coin toss rules and all the overtime rules and what's going on with that, okay, which I think they did change it last year, at the end of last year. So their kicker gets on to kick this field goal and totally misses. They showed video of that kicker because the Cardinal starting kicker was out of this game. They showed literally that kicker missing some kicks, but I think before the game, and he shot that ball far to the right, and the Eagles won the game. Okay, and that was it. This game, Gannon needs to do a lot better. It's just getting to a point where you're in week 5 already, and you still don't know what's working. You know, this game reminded me, I was getting deja vu. This defense gave me deja vu of last year. Not using players to their strengths, playing prevent way too much, and having the excuse last year didn't have the right players. Howie Roseman has literally given you on a silver platter a brand new defense that's loaded right now. Okay, and you have no idea how to use it. That's why I said every week, guys, like, oh, I'm in the middle between Gannon right now. I'm not going to say I trust him. That's why I say I don't trust him, because he pulls shit like this. That's the reason. Okay, on top of that, we lost Kelsey, we lost Dickerson, and I was literally like, okay, we have depth, but are these guys okay? Kelsey came back, Dickerson came back, and they seem like they're fine. Kelsey, after the game, he seemed like he was fine. So, really glad those two are back, because you're going to need as much offensive line help. Hopefully, Mulata's back next week, which I highly doubt, but we'll see. Avonte Maddox will be back next week. You need as many guys as possible. Josiah Scott is okay. He did okay this game, made a couple tackles, but it's time for Avonte Maddox to come back. Okay, we need him back. He's had rest on that twisted ankle, so really well needed for that nickel corner spot next week. Offensively, Shane Steichen, I don't know why they're afraid. They were afraid to throw middle of the field. No slants, no nothing. I mean, they were just afraid to throw. It was screen after screen after screen after screen, like couple okay passes. There were some good ones out there. I'm not saying he had a horrible day, but from what the play call is, there's only so much you could put on a player when the play call is just trash and you're not going to get anywhere. You know what I mean? Like, the one thing I can't stand is when balls are deflected at the line by defensive linemen. That is a wasted down. Can't stand that. These stupid penalties that we got on 2 drives that were drive killers that brought us back out of field goal range after 2 separate sacks on 2 separate drives. Like I said before, those killed us. We would have been in a bigger lead. Even if you just kick 3 points each, who cares? You would have had a lead regardless. Okay? Eagles got out of this one. And just because the Eagles are undefeated right now, it doesn't mean that you can't have an ugly game. That's what I can't stand. Like, they label you undefeated because we are undefeated. And then you have to, for some reason, people think you have to win and score over 40, 50 points a game. Now, obviously, you can't score 20 points a game. I say over 30 points a game, and you're a playoff team. And you have a high-powered offense. That's what it's all about. But they strayed away from the run. They strayed away from the blitz. They strayed away from stunts. They strayed away from... are they giving Kyler Murray too much respect? Like, I think Gannon was afraid to blitz him because he's so athletic. Because if you miss him on the blitz, if you blitz everybody and you miss him, he is going to run for a lot of yards. Okay, he didn't really start running until like the end of the third quarter. Okay, he barely ran. Like, I thought we pressured him nicely in the beginning of the game, and he was throwing in some incomplete passes. He was just inaccurate. I thought we did really well. Hassan Reddick is still not on the edge, still covering hooks and curls and curl routes. Like, what are they doing? Like you have a blueprint on how you use these guys, and then you just stray away from it. The run game, you stray away from it. There's really not much else to say about it. Like, they totally screwed up. Totally. The game plan sucked. It was horrible. Okay? Eagles are 5-0. We're undefeated. Nobody could talk. You really can't even talk, to be honest, okay? Because this team is ready for battle. This team, the thing I won't question about this team is its resiliency and its fight back. And I know they have plenty of it, okay? Jalen Hurts at the end of this game today, all right? So after the game was over, he was interviewed, and he talked about being 5-0. He's like, I don't even want to hear the word 5-0. I don't care about us being 5-0. We were 2-3 or 2-5. Did anybody say anything about our record? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't care about that. This team needs to clean up what they're going to clean up after this week, because it was just really ugly. It really was. Okay, as a football team, as an undefeated football team, you're allowed to have a game like this, okay? It's not... people are going to just talk crap and just say stuff to piss you off. I know for a fact this team could play better. We all know this team could play better. But Jalen Hurts is going to get everybody in line. I'm not the furthest thing I'm worried about is Jalen Hurts because his mindset, his mentality, he gets this team ready every week. I'm not worried about this offense being ready. I'm worried about this defense being ready next week. That's what I'm worried about because what we saw today was horrible. And to be honest, you had your mismatches. You didn't have A.J. Brown in the second half. You tried to throw one to Quez Watkins when A.J. Brown was right before we kicked that field goal to be up by 3 points, okay? They kind of closed this game before the Cardinals took on the last minute 40 seconds of the game, okay, when they wasted 6 to 8 minutes of offense, which was great. Great clock management by Shane Steichen, and it worked really well. They tried to throw that touchdown to Quez Watkins, but A.J. Brown was wide open in front of him, and he didn't throw to him. He would have walked right into the end zone if he got that pass off. He would have bulled his way in there. But this is what you're going to have. Sometimes you just have a game like this. This is just what it is. It's not acceptable because I know they could play better, but I think there were just too much cautiousness. Gannon being cautious of Kyler Murray, and they don't want to blitz too much. They don't want to blitz him like crazy because they think he's going to come out with a big explosive play. If you miss the blitz, if you can't catch him, like I said, he didn't start running until mostly the end of the game. He was not, I think with Kyler Murray on his legs, it's dangerous. Okay, we know what he could do. Okay, I don't think he's the best quarterback. I don't think he's anything special, but he will beat you athletically. There's no doubt about it. So those things about, those questions from Jalen Hurts and how Jalen Hurts responded, this team will be ready next week, okay? Like I said, I didn't like the way they played. Not happy with the way they played. They still got the W, but what? We got to say, why? This team sucks now because it was an ugly win? No, they'll come back. They'll do what they got to do. We still got a long season, guys. The week 5 is over. We're going into week 6, and then we're going to need a very needed bye week. We're going to need a very needed bye week badly. Okay, so couple weeks, this team has the bye. They get healthy. Beat the Cowboys next week, still be undefeated 6-0, and go on your bye. Get guys back. That's what's important right now. But next on our list is the Dallas Cowboys, probably the biggest game of the year. Whether the Eagles win or lose, it's still a long season regardless. Eagles are still in contention to do almost anything. I think if the Eagles still hit the playoffs, it doesn't matter. I think they're still going to produce. I think wherever they're going to be at, whether it's division or wild card, I'm saying it's going to be division. I just look at their schedule and I can't turn away. I see a lot more wins in the win column right now. But this game sucked in a lot of ways. And it's not because of some of these players. The tackling was bad, but I can't blame the players 100%. If the coaches are telling you to run this play, you have to run it. If the coach is telling you play 8 yards, 10 yards off the receiver, you got to do it. And you're not going to win football games this way. The way they do this clock management stuff in the second half really pisses me off, and it just annoys the shit out of me. And it will always do that. It's just ridiculous. So I know I've been going back and forth, kind of saying the same things over and over again, but I'm just giving you my raw emotion of this game. And we're 5-0, guys. I'm happy. Trust me, I'm really, really happy. Don't let anybody tell you that this team isn't going anywhere. This team has a lot of talent right now. Okay, a lot of talent. It's like I said, it is up to the coaching staff to make this a success. The coaches are going to fail the players if anyone's going to fail, okay? That's the only thing that could happen. It could. And if they keep playing like this, if they coach these, if their game plan is this weak and they're playing, they didn't dominate today. They didn't step on somebody today. They were being productive, but they were being very cautious and not throwing middle of the field and not blitzing and playing too much prevent. And I just don't get how, at least like one side needs to be aggressive. Both sides are being that passive in the fourth quarter. Like, come on now. You know what week it is next week. It's an important week. Sunday Night Football, guys. So that's all I really got to say. I wasn't happy with it, but I'm glad we got the win. And to be honest, what more can I ask for from this team? If they're playing tough and they're winning, how can I complain? Yes, I'm a content creator. I have to complain about things. That's the nature of what we do on here. There's always something to talk about. There's a lot of stuff we didn't like. If you guys were in my stream, you knew what I was upset about. I was upset about the way we played defense, not being aggressive, offensively. Just like, what are they doing? I felt like I was watching Doug Peterson's offense. Literally. I felt like I was watching screen after screen after screen after screen. I mean, completed pass, penalty, like good pass downfield. We're on the 10-yard line. We're on the 5-yard line. Penalty, move back. 2 incompletions, get sacked, out of field goal range. That's what I feel like happened this whole day today. But what Jalen Hurts said at the end of his press conference about he doesn't give a crap about being 5-0, these guys are going to be ready next week. These guys are going to be ready next week. Oh, well, he's just saying that, or, people are going to make stuff up. I don't even care anymore. If we're 5-0 at the end of the day, I don't care. Until anybody beats us, there'll be nothing to complain about. But obviously, this wasn't the best game we've played. This was the worst second quarter we played. The worst second quarter we've ever played. And that's our strong suit, okay? Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. The Cardinals do not score in the first half of football games, okay? Going into this game, first half, they don't score points at all. Very pass-happy offense, okay? So that's all I really got to say, guys. Let me know in the comment section below what you guys think just about this game in general. What pissed you off? What made you happy? And is a win a win? Are you guys worried about next week? You guys let me know what's going on, and I'll see you guys on the next one. SHAKESQUAD up, follow slide. Peace out, guys. Peace.